Let's have a closer look at the first test drive of the Peugeot 9X8. The Peugeot management wants them to start at this year's 24-hour race in Le Mans, but since the new Hypercar regulations include a balance of performance, the ACO needs data about the 9X8 before Le Mans. So if they want to race in Le Mans, they need to do another race before that. That gives Peugeot quite some pressure because they initially intended to race the car much later. Also, the cars will be homologated, and so Peugeot should take their time to develop a good basis for the future, rather than being stuck with a half-ready prototype. If you want to know more about the general concept of the 9X8 and why it doesn't have a rear wing, check out my other video in the description. So let's have a look at the latest iterations of the car. The front rear splitter looks the same as Peugeot presented it before. One thing to note now is the opening on top of the nose, which could work like an S-duct in F1. Such a duct is removing low-energy air towards the top before the underbody flow enters the diffuser. And as we know, this 9X8 is all about the diffuser. In the latest shots we can see a major change to the front wheel arches. Instead of staying straight and including the side mirrors like the show car, the front fenders are now pulled down significantly, which reduces the opening from the front wheel wake and reduces the risk of getting wake into the upper air intakes, like I mentioned in my last video. But in this low position they cannot accommodate the mirrors anymore, otherwise the driver could only see the ground. We cannot see mirrors in the latest shots, but they could either go back to conventional mirrors or to cameras. The front wheel arches also show some louvres on top, but not in all pictures. They could be there to compensate the smaller wheel arch exits, so this might be an area where Peugeot is still testing different setups. Peugeot used this picture in quite a clever way, to attract lots of interest on social media, because people thought they would go back to a traditional rear wing design. So this is not the case as we know now, but Peugeot showed us the newly added flaps with this. So why would they use this Ferrari FXX style flaps now? One reason could be that flaps are easy to adjust and a whole underbody is not. They create some amount of downforce, which could be enough to adjust the balance of the car. But we also see that these flaps are not straight. If they create upwash, they pull the rear wheel wake up. But at the same time, because of their angled position, they also push it to the outside and create some outwash. That increases the expansion behind the diffuser and improves the underbody performance. But also, these flaps create a strong side vortex either side of the vertical wall. This vortex turns the other way around compared to standard rear wing designs, but they help to increase outwash and hence help with wake control. Another nice design feature are the 3 rear lights either side. They are effectively vertical walls that straighten the wheel wake and avoid it from flowing to the diffuser. The diffuser itself looks the same as at the show car, with only 2 strakes at the sides to seal the tire squirt vortex of the rear wheels. But we can also see that the lower wishbone of the car runs through the diffuser, which suggests that it will have an arrow shape, which could create interesting effects, and the diffuser tunnel must be pretty long. During testing we could see a very low-hanging white device in the center of the diffuser. This could have been a rake to measure the diffuser flow, similar to what we know from F1. The 9X8 looks like a very interesting competitor in the new Hypercar class. Let me know how you like the project in the comments below.